ladies and gentlemen, I'm always excited to talk about the 1974 NHL entry draft because of all the top prospects that were selected. Now, this year probably was the most consistent Stanley Cup creator of the decade. Now, Greg Jolie was taken number one by the Capitals, and numerous players were taken in the first round. Paymont, Gillies, Cammy Connor, Doug Hicks, Risebrough, LaRouche, Chartrand, Fogelin, Tremblay, Valaket, Dave Maloney, Grant Mulvey, Ron Chipperfield. Second round, Mike Marson, Bruce Affleck, Trottier, Settlebauer, Mark Howe, Bobby Hess, Guy Chouinard, this guy's teammate of Danny Gare, Tiger Williams, Ron Gresher, Gilles Lepierre, Bob Bourne, Charlie Simmer, Pete Lepresti, and this guy had been taken number 50, probably played on the greatest line in Calgary Centennial's history with Danny Gare and Mike Rogers. Now, when this guy entered the NHL, not only did he have some of the best sideburns that the NHL had seen in a couple of years, he was a consistent forward, didn't really reach the heights predicted for him, but any player that makes the NHL and WHA and is a respected player in the minor leagues over just a half dozen seasons have to be good. So of course we're talking about the very talented and very underrated in a lot of ways, Jerry Holland. Now the left winger, born in Beaver Lodge, Alberta, August 25th, 54, one day before my birth date, but I was born 65. Again, played left wing for the majority of his career. First came to major prominence with the Kamloops Rockets of the BCHL, where he's had 41 goals in 34 games in 72. Now that season he also played with the Calgary Centennials, 30 points in 33 games. But his next two seasons before he was officially drafted were some of the best in Calgary history. He put up 106 goals and 225 points in 134 games over two seasons. Again, that big line with Gare and Rogers, where a lot of people felt, again, dynamite squad. Now, the Rangers sent him to their affiliate in Providence in 75 when he took him 49 overall. 79 points in 67 games in Providence, was a Rookie of the Year, led the league in goals that season, played one game with the Rangers that year, scored his only goal of the campaign against, of all people, the Rangers' longtime rival, the Boston Bruins. Now, wearing 22 for the Rangers, he eventually played 2 seasons in the New York system, and ironically, he has OPG cards in both of his years. Now, his rookie card and his second-year card look the same because it's taken from the same stock photo. But what was very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, he came into the Rangers system where the Rangers were doing a major rebuild. That's when Esposito came over. They got rid of Eddie Jackman. Greshner was coming in. The Maloney brothers, Duguay, a few others. He was part of that kind of youth movement because when he ended up with the Rangers at the time, he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was only 21. So, 20. So the situation with him, all bets seem to be open for him to do really well at the pro hockey level. Second season with the Rangers, he had 11 points in 36 games, including 7 goals, and 76 with the Province, he had 20 points in 28 contests, including 9 goals. Now, 77, he found himself back in the minors with New Haven and put up, again, decent numbers in his AHL campaign, 62 points, including 28 goals in 72 games. Now, 78 was a very weird season. He had a major leg injury that year. He broke it and saw limited action with the Salt Lake Golden Eagles of the CHL, where he had 11 points in 11 games, and he had 3 points and 2 goals in 22 games with, of all teams, the Edmonton Oilers. That was part of their rebuilding towards the Gretzky arrival the next campaign. Now, 79, the PHL unfortunately folded at the end of the season. He was one of their key players. It was kind of his second biggest career year in the minor leagues. 38 goals in 52 games, including 61 points. But again, that team folded at the end of the year, and he officially retired after that season. Now, final NHL totals, kind of deceiving because I think if he would have went on with Toronto or Montreal or Quebec, he would have been a very solid third-line player. But like I said, with that injury with the broken leg, you never know how a player is going to react. in regards to an injury. And like I said, decent numbers. The sniper he was in Calgary continued in the minors. And, with limited action in New York in 76, he put up some okay numbers. Probably would have scored 15 or 20 games in a full season. Again, final NHL totals, 12 points in 37 games, including 8 goals. With Edmonton, 2 goals in 22 contests. Now, again, just to recap about him, the WHA really saw him high. They took him also 50th overall in round 4. Now, he entered that draft in 74 as a 20th ranked prospect. And I really think why he dropped had nothing to do with him. I think it had more to do with who was available in the draft. And we're going to get that in a second, because you look at the top, the top 70 picks, there's only just a handful of people that never made the NHL. It was role players, it was superstars, great defensemen. A lot of good Americans were taken. This was a draft that, you had some of the key players in the United States program. Gary Sargent as well was taken right before Jerry at number 50. Marty Howe was taken by the Habs. Mark Howe was also taken. Bob Murray was in that mix as well. Bob Sirois, Tom Adur, very underrated defenseman. So, him taking 50th overall in a irregular draft, he could have been top 25. But the idea of this draft, it was really the first official draft towards expansion when Washington and Kansas City came in the expanded league. And boys, the talent has lived on for a number of years. You look at like Clark Gillies alone being a number 4 pick. Any other year would have been number 1. And like that was the Montreal Canadiens draft. I tell you why. You got Risebrough, LaRouche, Chartrand, and Tremblay in the top 12. Not all taken by Montreal at the time, of course. And Cam Connor, too, who eventually showed up. Montreal dominated that draft. And again, the Rangers did not too bad. Like I said, Jerry Holland, a few other prospects. You look at Dave Maloney was also taken at number 14. So it was, like I said, the rebuilding year for the Rangers. So Jerry was part of one of the most important drafts of all time. Played in the NHL, played in the WHA, the respected player in the NHL. And like I said, hometown hero spirit. Small town Alberta has made so many players like Jerry, and it's just a pleasure to speak about them because they made the NHL in the 60s and 70s. Role players or third or fourth line players that deserve to be there, but like I said, from what I heard, Jerry had a very strong work ethic, which really paid off, especially in the minor leagues, where a young kid who was taking a lot of the goal scoring of the teams he played for. Especially that first season where made the All-Star team rookie and led the AHL in goals. You can never take that away. So that's a legend of Jerry Holland. Again, check out his OPG and Topps hockey cards. My God, those button chops takes me back to the mid-70s where everybody would shave, but they would never shave their sideburns. Luke Perry would be proud. Thanks for listening. Bye.